Hi, it's Eileen Fuller here, Artist Eileen, and I have a series I want to talk to you about, and it is the top 5 challenges of a baby boomer to successful internet marketer. I'm referring to my notes here because I don't want to forget anything important. But let me tell you my number one challenge as a baby boomer myself. And these might not be in the same order that they could be happening for you if you're of my generation, um, but maybe they are. Maybe there's some things here that you can relate to that have been part of my journey to being a successful internet marketer. And the first one that comes to mind for me is self-confidence and mindset. Let me tell you that my prior experience before I got into network marketing and now internet marketing was in the corporate world. And a lot of people of my generation were brought up to get an education, get a job, and let your corporate parent take care of you while you worked hard, provide you an option for retiring with some income saved, perhaps, and also good benefits and a loyalty built in from this corporate parent to you, as well as your loyalty back to them. Well, sorry folks, it doesn't work that way. And it quit working that way quite a few years ago for me and for others. So part of my story was that I was not sure of myself and not sure of my abilities. I got divorced when my children were 1 and 3 years old and moved back home with my parents from Phoenix, Arizona, where I lived with my husband, back to northern San Diego County. And the first place that hired me was a savings and loan. So this, in effect, was the banking industry that was hot at that time. Okay. And I was told, just work your way up through the ranks. And also, I learned that my company's policy was that college graduates were management material, and those who were college dropouts like me could perhaps earn an equivalent income and move up the corporate ladder also, but I would have to have an equivalent in experience on the job if I was not going to go back and get my degree. And it didn't seem very possible for me to go back to school. I know now that I probably could have done it if I had applied myself differently and had more confidence in my abilities, and perhaps had a little bit more help from family and friends with the kids, or some support from my ex-husband. But he stayed in Arizona and he wasn't around. He was an absent parent, so that didn't help with the kids for me to go to school at night, that type of thing. I found myself getting in a position where I felt safe and secure, but I was barely living over the poverty line in my banking job. Well, what can one do to change that? Okay. Number one, I think, is to read and to become an accelerated learner by what you're reading. Yeah, I took banking courses, and that helped me to get up the ladder over time, but I was not reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, or The Millionaire Mindset, or Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The Secret wasn't out yet. Oh my goodness, there's so many more that I can think of, but um, some of the books and the audios that I've been listening to since I've gotten into the business of being an entrepreneur is part of the education that you are going to need in order to change your mindset from the no longer safe, secure corporate world to taking care of number one. That's you and your family. I want to tell you a little story about my situation. I worked for the Savings and Loan Company for a total of 9 years before I moved up from a teller to an assistant branch manager. And I didn't even get into the management, just to assistant in that period of time. And I remember training others in my job and how to do it after they graduated from college, and they'd have a college education, but it would have nothing to do with business or banking. This one lady she majored in home economics or something, and she came in all hotsy-totsy that she was going to be a branch manager, but all of the grunts had to teach her job, right? Well, have you ever heard that song, Take This Job and Shove It? I will get back to that in a little bit, but that's something that helped me to move on. So back to my little history here, raising up these kids. I really didn't have a good self-esteem. I dated the wrong men. I met and married another man who I later discovered was violent, and that I wasn't really in love with him, but I didn't want to be a two-time divorcee, so I stuck it out longer than I should have in that relationship. I did enjoy the learning that was going on in the various stages of my banking career, and moved from a satellite branch to the main office, and became quite proficient at new accounts. Was a new account supervisor and had a team of people working with me. I enjoyed training them, my team. And also, I was gaining confidence, as well as using my bilingual abilities, being in North San Diego County, to help my clients, which was good. So I promised to get back to my story, but first I want to mention that this is one in a 5-part series I'm going to be doing. You'll need to tune in tomorrow night on goals and visualizations, and then the third night on daily action and organization, because thinking like an entrepreneur is very different than being a salaried or hourly employee. So that's a switch you have to make. I'm real excited about the fourth in the series on team and training, because that's critical. You don't want to be working you could be working alone, but not by yourself. So you want to have connection with others that have the same thinking as you do, to lift you up and to encourage you, and so you don't feel like you're in a battle all by yourself. So I'm real excited about day number 4. And then the 5th category is going to be on dreaming bigger and removing the self-limiting barriers. Now back to my story on Take This Job and Shove It. Okay, so the company I was working for was getting merged upon, and they were going to take away my promotion. I'd just been promoted to assistant manager. They were going to take it away from me because of this merger, and I was fed up. I just had enough. 9 years with the company. And so it was like, I'm out of here. I went to visit a friend of mine in Reno, and I previously filled out some job applications. So I came up for a job interview, got hired before the weekend was over, and she and I celebrated. We went up to a place called Virginia City, Nevada, and this redneck band was playing Take This Job and Shove It. I had to go grab a guy's arm and say, oh, we got to dance to this song because I'm going to write my resignation on the plane ride home on Sunday night, and I'm partying all weekend. So funny things happened. It was a great time. This guy and his friend took the two of us catamaran sailing the next day, and then out to dinner. And I wrote my resignation on the plane, wrote it out in longhand, and then had it typed up and on my boss's desk on Monday morning when he came to work. And then I moved my children 500 miles. They were 8 and 10 at the time. Moved them up to Reno, and I never looked back on that job. My next episode will be telling you about the next 9 years and how much longer my journey was to get to the self-confidence and mindset I needed. But for now, I just want you to like me on Facebook and read my blog that will be attached to this. And stay tuned tomorrow for part number 2 on goals and visualizations. This is Eileen Fuller, entrepreneur and artist, signing off for tonight. And I've got to find this button and wake it up again so I can turn off the video. There it is. Okay. I will talk with you tomorrow. Bye for now.